Hi everybody, and welcome to the official editing tutorial of how I edit my podcast, Video Edition. Last time I showed you how I did the audio-only episodes of my podcast, but today we have a nice little video of everybody. So, I suppose we should start off with the shit I use. So let's join a Discord VC, and I turn on my camera. I have a little cover on. Anyway, when this happens, now normally I would use OBS to record it, but OBS has not been treating me the best as of late. So instead I decided to switch to QuickTime Player. As you can see, I already opened it and it appears as this, and I click new screen recording. And then you can drag out a little space, and then you will hit right here, record button, and you stop the recording, and then it saves. So that's what I use to record the video. As for the audio side, let me just, hold on. Sorry, let me cancel this. As for how I record the audio, instead of using CraigBot, Craig will often have parts where the audio breaks apart and it's hard to sync it up. So instead I use Pawa. But the disadvantage is that Craig records each person's track separately. Pawa just does it as one whole thing. So you type in !record. And as you can see, Pawa is recording this conversation. Now let's say we just do the podcast. Let's type in !save. And then he leaves with this nice MP3 file for us to download. If it's way longer than 8 seconds, I will obviously he'll send a little link for you to download it to. And now that I can get out of Discord, once that's done, I take the MP3 and I open it in Audacity, and I do the usual noise reduction, bass and treble, loudness normalization, noise reduction again, which is already explained in my audio tutorial, and then I put it through Levelator, which is what we have here. Alright, so now I'm in the editing software, and I plugged in both the video and the audio, and I managed to I managed to sync them up. Normally I do this by simply just clapping and syncing it that way. I forgot to this time, so I made it definitely made things harder for me, but then I made it a compound clip once I did all that, and we have an hour and 40 minutes to do all this. As you can see, this episode is actually quite long compared to the other episodes. Anyways, I figured out where the intro started, and we are going to do Shift H to hold that frame. And in this time, I'm going to head over to a separate event I created in my resources library. And here is the iconic JLU podcast intro. Here we go. So I copy. I paste it in. Yes, I know it's in another library. And I just kind of figure out where I need to make it start up and stop. Zooming in definitely helps. Think that's good? Yeah, that's pretty good. And then I go back to all the things, and I have all these little icon thingies that I made with like little animatics, as you can see. So yeah, and to just prepare ahead of time, I copied these all into the library. So that when it comes time to find whatever it is, I can just drag it from here to here instead of through libraries. So now what I need to do is obviously I recommend doing a first pass where you just cut out everything and stuff, or you can go section by section. I separate my podcast into sections: news, topic, quiz, and game of the week. So I did all of that. So I'm going to cover all of news today, and tomorrow I'm going to work on the topic, and the day after I'm going to work on quiz, and so on and so forth until it's all done. So first, let's just get find where the intro ends.
Is that why he left?
Yeah, he hates this song a lot. Oh, the frame rate's a little bit low. That it hasn't rendered yet. My bad. But while I wait for it to render, I am going to say like right here is a good spot. Yeah, like right there for me to open the music folder and sorry, let me find it. Here we go. The no copyright lo-fi tracks. Man, OBS and this software do not go together well. And then I like to just cut it like right here and ignore that buildup. Drag it over here. Obviously lower the volume so we're not talking over each other. And then there you go. Yeah, he hates this song a lot. Anyways, I'm your host Jelly today. Alright. And I'm gonna quickly pause the recording so so Final Cut could render this. Okay, so now I want to get to a very important part of the video side. Yeah, he hates this song a lot. Anyways, I'm your host Jelly today, joined by my host Brody. Oh, so there's a little bit where Brody leaves because he's angry, and I act surprised. So I'm going to incorporate a visual gag where I zoom into my face. He's not here. So it's always very important to keep in mind that people can watch this, so it's important to do visual gags. I've uploaded a visual gag to my main channel as a quick 40-second clip to promote the podcast called Staring Buddies. And if you want a pretty good example of what a visual gag should look like, well, just go watch that. Anyways, I just wanted to show you that that I will be doing visual gags as I go through the podcast episode. But now I'm going to try and find where I talk about the news. Alright, and I found where the introduction for the news segment comes in.
Huh? My balls?
I think it's time we talk about the news. I have no idea why, but it prioritized Brody eating over me talking, so I'm just going to raise the volume. I think it's time we talk about the news. Anyways, when I say news, I freeze frame. Cut the music. Bring it over there. And then I grab the little icon intro thingy. And once again, I just stretch the frame. There we go. So it looks like this.
Balls?
I think it's time we talk about the news. Oh. It's having trouble rendering. Anyways, it'll freeze frame and show this. And then, for the rest of the segment, what I like to do is, hold on, let me just zoom out. What I like to do is, pull up the, little PNG file of the newspaper thingy that I made. And then obviously I need to lengthen it for the news segment. I normally do it for like, I make the PNG file of the news last 10 minutes, the topic like 40 minutes, and then quiz 10 minutes, and then game of the week 5 minutes, just as a general like bound so that I don't have to like actively seek it out and cut it down again, you know. So, and I think you should do this first before doing your first cut pass, because in case you need to do any zooms, you know, you won't forget to specifically cut out the news PNG in there. And I just drag it over the recording bot to make it easier. Okay, so I'm at the point where we switch from talking about the news to the topic, so obviously I freeze frame there and I put in the topic animatic. There it is, and then I put the yellow T here. And for this topic, we talked about must-play games. And so to illustrate the point that I think these are must-play games, I downloaded the box art for each game that we're going to talk about. The first one we did was Ocarina of Time. So I'll add a picture in the little corner. Is a good old Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. and I'll fade it in and fade it out when we stop talking about it. And I'm going to do this for every game we talk about. So just illustrating the point that sometimes it's good to show pictures of what you're talking about. This isn't necessarily, a must-have at all times. Obviously you can't play an entire video if you're going to talk about that. And if you're going to only talk about something for like 5 seconds, then what's the point of showing a picture? So anyways, that is what I wanted to show, and I'm going to continue on editing like normal. I haven't done many visual bits since because there just hasn't been a good opportunity, but I have done a few zoom-ins. Okay, it's time to get to the quiz segment, but real quickly I just want to show you that I've shown the pictures and I've even done the little zoom-in parts. And I just kind of cut where I needed to cut as per usual with the topic section. Now as for the quiz is actually pretty easy. Obviously freeze frame, play the animation, put a little cue in the corner, and the only thing I really do other than like visual edits is I simply just put like text on screen that'll say, oh, you can take the quiz by clicking on the link in the description. So I just wanted to note that. Okay, I finished Game of the Week. Obviously freeze frame, put the picture there, add a little visual gag with this editor's note, and then I show the picture of the actual Game of the Week when I start to get to talking about it. And then I fade it out when we get to time to do the outro, and as we do the outro, nothing really changes. But once I say goodbye, I cut to this free to download like 8-bit pixel background, and I just continue the lo-fi music as I make it fade out near the end. Although that is a little loud, I'm going to turn it down. And then what I do is just add the slightest of blurs to this so that I can add our the end cards at the end of the video. So just turn it down a little bit. Okay, and now that that is all done, it is finally time to export the video. But something I want to mention is that, hold on, I should have opened the thing ahead of time. Ah, shit. Sorry. Anyways, what I do is I write down the timestamp. So 000 is the intro. Where's the news segment? Oh, whoops. News starts at 2:23, so I'll write down that. And I'll just do that for everything so that it's easier to navigate in the actual YouTube video. And other than that, it's simply just a case of uploading and adding end cards and everything. So yeah, this was my editing tutorial. Oh, one more thing. After I make it a video, I'll obviously do the same process I did to export to audio so it could be on the Riley Podcast mega feed. So anyways, thank you all for watching this YouTube tutorial on how I make my podcast, video edition, yada yada. I'll see you all later.